Season 2 of Apex Legends has been out for roughly 3 weeks now at the time of this recording, and I thought there'd be no better time than to talk about the changes that Respawn have made to Apex in Season 2, my opinions on the new ranked playlists, and the direction that I feel the game needs to go come Season 3 in October. Now, the first change I'm going to be talking about is the way that the map has changed. The two Leviathans that were previously surrounding the outside of the map have made their way onto the centre of the map, completely tearing away cascades and bridges in doing so. Now, Respawn have accommodated for the lost loot spawns by adding in two new POIs, the Cage and Containment, roughly around the same area where bridges and cascades were. Now, I have to say, I do feel that the change in scenery was much needed. However, personally, I do feel that the direction of play is often funneled into certain choke points far more since the changes have been made. From my experience playing the game in the opening 2 weeks, a large majority of fighting is happening outside the bunker on the eastern exit. While this is true for before the update, the introduction of the Cage and Containment either side of this area, as well as the large open plains created by the Leviathans, pushes a larger percentage of players in towards the bunker area. Now, I think that the introduction of the POIs was a step forward. The game was becoming terribly stale with the lack of changes to the map in the opening season and prior to that. However, it would be great to see a larger variety added and a lot more distance between them in order to encourage a variety of drops. I think a wider spread between the new POIs would encourage a lot more spread between drops, which would create action around the map and not just in certain choke points. Moving on, the next Season 2 addition I want to talk about is everyone's favourite French girl, Wattson.
Papa would be proud of me.
Overall, I feel like Wattson's addition has been a success. There's not too much to say about her other than that she offers a viable option for ranked play, her support abilities are unique, and they help tackle the growing trend of third partying with her fences. Now, what I do want to talk about, however, is the introduction of new legends in the coming seasons, especially Season 3. I think what Respawn did in Season 1 and Season 2 by adding in Octane and Wattson was a good start. We do need more legends, and I think everyone hopes for them to be dropped a bit more frequently when the game originally dropped. A lot of references to Fortnite and how they added in a lot of updates very regularly. However, I think the only way forward for Respawn now is to add in two legends at a time with every season. I think this for a number of reasons. I think the game is getting slightly stale in the middle of seasons when people are used to the changes, and 3-month seasons, they can be quite long towards the end, they can feel quite long, and you need something to keep it fresh. And if they're not going to have a big addition such as ranked play in Season 3, as it's already in the game, they're going to need to replace that with something equally big to keep the player base entertained. I think two new legends is the only way forward, and if we're to believe the leaks that there are 8 more coming, I can't see them doing one more at a time for 8 more seasons. I think 2 at a time is the way forward for Respawn, and I think it's what we can all expect come Season 3. Another big change to Season 2 sees the weapon meta change entirely. Now, this is all thanks to the addition of several new attachments in the game, namely the 2 new hop-ups, Hammer Point and Disruptor Rounds, the latter being so effective that they had to nerf it pretty soon after release. These new hop-ups change the game entirely, making otherwise redundant weapons entirely viable choices. Since the more invested players already know which weapons tend to be more effective in the game, i.e. the longbow and R99, or even the R301, it helps keep the game fresh by adding in new, equally effective options. That way you aren't always running into the same weapons. Respawn have done an amazing job keeping weapons balanced, nerfing the Wingman and the Devotion earlier in the game cycle, and they continue to do so by giving less sought after weapons some much needed optional buffs. Lastly, I do want to talk about something I've touched on before in this video, my personal favourite addition to Apex, ranked play. The new and vastly improved competitive playlist let's not talk about Apex Elite lobbies. Give skilled players the chance to test their abilities against equally skilled players and to grind to get higher ranks, resulting in rewards at the end of the season. Depending on which rank you finish, the better rewards you get, and this is something which players have been desperately in need for in the game for so long. It encourages more tactical and smart team play through its reward system, and it's worked perfectly. The variety of playstyles, as well as the stakes of losing RP in each game, makes for a highly tactical, team-oriented approach to each game, something rarely seen in the more run-and-gun oriented public matches. I hope that the rewards are worth the serious hours that people are putting into the grind and the tiers, and that they only improve in the coming seasons. A dive trail and a badge, potentially not enough for those high-ranked Diamond and Apex Predator players. Potentially we could see character skins, maybe a choice of character skins or a choice of weapon skins. We do have one weapon cosmetic coming in the tiers rewards. However, I feel like for the hours you put in, you should have a big reward at the end of it. Overall, I'd say the opening to Season 2 has been a large success. It's drawn back a lot of players which had gone away from the game in Season 1, given the lack of changes. However, whether or not Season 2 will hold up for the next 3 months, I'm not sure. I think the one thing I'd like to see Respawn do now is add in more constant updates to the game, more weapons, changes to the map, just make it fresh, keep it coming. It's great to have these seasonal updates, and Season 2 has been hugely successful in the opening 3 weeks in my opinion, really liven the game up. However, like I say, it just won't last for long enough, and they're going to lose a large majority of their player base if they don't keep fresh updates coming like other games do. This is just my opinion though. Honestly, you may enjoy it for a much longer time than me. I just feel like being given constant updates from games and constant content coming in, it's just a better way of keeping the game interesting for longer in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing.